something drove the builders of the Great Pyramid to go to a very great additional trouble, not only to create this massive, imposing monument, but also to lock it on to true north, and then other things, to incorporate into its dimensions the dimensions of our planet.
The Serapeum of Saqqara is located in the vast Saqqara necropolis, an ancient burial ground about 30 kilometers south of modern-day Cairo, Egypt. This necropolis is renowned for its numerous pyramids, most notably the famous Step Pyramid of Giza. The Serapeum itself is situated within this expansive complex, specifically nestled in the desert sands to the west of the Pyramid of Giza. This location is significant due to its proximity to these monumental structures, adding to the historical and cultural richness of the area. The discovery of the Serapeum in 1851 is a fascinating story. It was unearthed by the French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette, who originally traveled to Egypt with the intent of collecting Coptic manuscripts for the Louvre. However, he quickly became captivated by the country's ancient monuments. Mariette's discovery of the Serapeum was rather serendipitous. While exploring the area, he noticed the head of a sphinx protruding from the sand. Intrigued, he began excavating and soon uncovered an entire avenue of sphinxes that led to the underground galleries of the Serapeum. The Serapeum of Saqqara stands as an architectural wonder, nestled within the vast Saqqara necropolis, approximately 30 kilometers south of modern-day Cairo. This ancient burial ground is famous for its numerous pyramids, including the renowned Step Pyramid of Giza. The Serapeum itself is situated in the desert sands to the west of this iconic pyramid. Designed to house the sacred Apis bulls, revered as manifestations of the god Ptah and later Osiris Apis, the Serapeum consists of an extensive network of underground tunnels and burial chambers. Marking the entrance to the Serapeum is a long avenue lined with sphinx statues, similar in style to those found in Luxor's Avenue of Sphinxes. These sphinxes, believed to have been added during the Ptolemaic period, reflect the blend of Greek and Egyptian cultures. Entering the Serapeum, one would pass through what was once a grand entrance secured by massive stone doors, now removed or destroyed. This entrance demonstrates the Egyptians' ability to manipulate large stone blocks with precision. The removal of these doors has left the tunnels exposed to the elements, making conservation efforts crucial for preserving this historic site. The underground galleries of the Serapeum are its most striking and extensive feature. These galleries, arranged in a rectangular layout with side chambers cut into the rock, extend for several hundred meters. Each side chamber was meticulously designed to house a sarcophagus, reflecting the site's importance through its methodical precision. Hewn from solid limestone bedrock, these galleries showcase immense engineering skill, especially considering the limited tools available at the time. Originally lit by oil lamps or torches, the dim lighting within these galleries adds to their mysterious ambience. Among the most impressive aspects of the Serapeum are the massive sarcophagi housed within its chambers. Each sarcophagus, carved from a single block of stone such as granite, basalt, or limestone, is a marvel of ancient craftsmanship. Some weigh over 70 tons and measure up to 4 meters in length, raising questions about how these enormous stones were transported and positioned within the narrow confines of the underground chambers. The precision of their craftsmanship, with smooth surfaces and accurate dimensions, is comparable to that seen in the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, indicating a continuity of advanced engineering skills over centuries. The walls of the Serapeum are richly adorned with hieroglyphic inscriptions and carvings, detailing the burial rites of the Apis bulls and the religious rituals associated with their worship. These inscriptions also mention the pharaohs who ordered the construction of the galleries and the burial of the bulls, providing valuable historical context. The decorations include depictions of gods and goddesses, scenes of offerings, and symbolic motifs like the Ankh, symbolizing life, and the Jed pillar, symbolizing stability. An interesting comparison can be made between the Serapeum of Saqqara and the catacombs of Rome. Both are extensive underground burial complexes, but while the Serapeum was dedicated to the sacred bulls, the catacombs were used for human burials, primarily by early Christians. The construction and transportation of the massive sarcophagi in the Serapeum have long intrigued historians and archaeologists. Several theories have been proposed to explain these feats. One widely accepted theory is that the ancient Egyptians used a system of ramps to transport the massive stone blocks from quarries to the construction site. These ramps could have been straight, zigzagging, or spiral, depending on the terrain and the specific requirements of the project. Another theory suggests that the stones were moved using wooden rollers and sledges. Workers would place the stone blocks on sledges and drag them over a series of logs, lubricated with water or oil to reduce friction. This method is supported by depictions in ancient Egyptian art showing workers transporting large statues and blocks in this manner. Some researchers believe that lever and pulley systems might have been used to lift and position the sarcophagi within the underground chambers. Though no direct evidence of such devices has been found, the concept aligns with the known mechanical ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. The most straightforward explanation involves sheer human labor. Teams of workers, possibly numbering in the hundreds, could have coordinated their efforts to move the stones using ropes, sledges, and manual force. Another fascinating structure near the Serapeum is the Step Pyramid of Giza, an architectural marvel located in the Saqqara necropolis, about 30 kilometers south of modern-day Cairo. Saqqara served as the burial ground for the ancient city of Memphis, the capital of Egypt during the Old Kingdom. The pyramid stands prominently within this vast necropolis, surrounded by numerous tombs and other pyramids, making it a central feature of the area. The Step Pyramid of Giza was rediscovered in the 19th century by European explorers. However, it was the French Egyptologist Jean-Philippe Lauer who carried out systematic excavation and study beginning in the 1920s. Lauer's extensive research and restoration efforts over several decades significantly enhanced our understanding of the pyramid's construction and historical significance. This pyramid is notable for being the first colossal stone building in Egypt, marking a significant evolution in pyramid construction. Built during the 3rd dynasty for Pharaoh Djoser by his architect Imhotep, who is often credited as the first known architect in history, the pyramid consists of 6 mastaba-like structures stacked on top of each other, each decreasing in size as they ascend, giving it its distinctive stepped appearance. Originally standing approximately 62 meters tall with a base measuring 109 meters by 121 meters, the pyramid has slightly reduced in height over time due to erosion. The core of the pyramid is made from rough, small limestone blocks, while the outer casing was constructed from fine Tura limestone, which gave the pyramid a smooth, bright appearance. This construction represents a significant technological advancement from earlier mud brick mastabas to large-scale stone architecture. Beneath the pyramid lies a vast labyrinth of tunnels and chambers. The central burial chamber, located at the bottom of a 28-meter shaft, was constructed from granite and intended to house the sarcophagus of Pharaoh Djoser. The underground network includes more than 5.5 kilometers of corridors designed to thwart grave robbers, with many passages decorated with blue faience tiles intended to imitate reed matting. Surrounding the pyramid is a massive limestone enclosure wall that measures 10.5 meters high and encloses an area of about 15 hectares. This wall is punctuated by 14 gates, though only one of them is functional. Within the enclosure there is a large courtyard known as the Heb Sed Court, used for the Heb Sed Festival, a jubilee celebration that renewed the king's reign and powers. Adjacent to the north side of the pyramid is the funerary temple, where rituals and offerings were made to honor the deceased pharaoh. A small sealed chamber called a serdab, located near the pyramid's north face, contains a life-sized statue of Djoser, with 2 small holes through which the statue could see the rituals performed in his honor. The Step Pyramid of Giza is considered the earliest colossal stone structure in Egypt, and the first pyramid ever built, marking a revolutionary leap in architectural techniques. Imhotep, the architect of the pyramid, was later deified as a god of wisdom and medicine, with his contributions to architecture and medicine highly revered in later periods of Egyptian history. The Step Pyramid set the precedent for future pyramid construction in Egypt, influencing the design of smooth-sided pyramids like those found at Giza. The Heb Sed Court within the mortuary complex was used for a festival that renewed the pharaoh's power, celebrated after 30 years of a king's reign and every 3 years thereafter. The extensive subterranean network and the design of the pyramid itself were aimed at protecting the pharaoh's burial and deterring tomb robbers. Over the years, the pyramid and its complex have undergone extensive restoration efforts, particularly in the 20th and 21st centuries, to preserve this ancient monument for future generations.
For over 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has kept its most guarded secrets hidden within walls of solid stone. But deep inside, beyond the known passageways and tourist routes, lies something only a handful of people have ever laid eyes on. A secret staircase that's been strictly off-limits to the public, until now. Recently declassified footage reveals a narrow, winding ascent into darkness where strange symbols cover the walls. And at the top, an ancient doorway sealed shut since the time of the pharaohs. What's behind it could rewrite Egypt's history. And the reason no one was ever allowed to see it might be more disturbing than we've been told.
Our journey begins not in the sands of antiquity, but in the dim glow of a modern archaeological lab, where a recent scan has sent shockwaves through Egyptology. In 2023, researchers using cosmic ray muon imaging detected an anomaly deep inside the Great Pyramid, a vertical void stretching upwards, unlike any chamber or tunnel ever mapped before. The readings hinted at a structure hidden between layers of stone, running parallel to known corridors but unreachable by any known entrance. Some experts believe it could be the fabled secret staircase mentioned in obscure ancient texts, a stairway meant not for the living, but for the god king in death. To understand why such a passage would be concealed, we must step back into the age of Khufu, the enigmatic pharaoh who ordered this titanic structure into being. Around 2560 BCE, as the pyramid rose from the desert, it became more than a tomb. It was a cosmic machine. Every passage, every chamber, every block was part of a grand design meant to guide Khufu's soul to the stars. Some corridors were ceremonial, guiding priests and rituals. Others were purely symbolic, never meant to be walked by human feet. But there were also spaces designed to be erased from memory, sealed away with no record, their very existence denied to all but the king's most trusted builders. Here's where the mystery sharpens. The so-called secret staircase is thought to connect to the Grand Gallery, a long ascending hall with a steep incline that has puzzled researchers for generations. What purpose did it serve? Some theories suggest it was a functional part of the pyramid's construction, a kind of internal ramp, but others believe it was a ritual path leading upward into the heavens. If the hidden staircase mirrors this path in secret, it may have been Khufu's true ascension route, bypassing the known corridors entirely. A hidden road for the pharaoh's spirit, away from the reach of tomb robbers and the gaze of mortals. As the centuries passed, the knowledge of its existence, if it ever was known beyond the royal court, vanished. When medieval explorers first entered the pyramid in the 9th century, led by Caliph al-Ma'mun, they hacked their way into the passages we know today. They found empty chambers, broken seals, and the cold silence of a tomb long since looted. Yet if the secret staircase was hidden deep enough, even they may have passed within meters of it without realizing. It remained a silent witness, buried behind walls of stone, its story untold. Now, technology has begun to peel back the layers of time. The Japanese-led Scan Pyramids project has been mapping the pyramid with unprecedented precision, revealing voids and structures invisible to the human eye. The new anomaly, narrow, vertical, and unlike any natural flaw, has reignited debate. Could this be an ancient construction ramp abandoned in place, or something far more ceremonial? The dimensions suggest it's too narrow for heavy labor, but perfectly proportioned for human passage. And its location, aligned with celestial markers, hints at intentional design, not accident. If the secret staircase does exist, it might answer one of Egyptology's greatest questions. How did the ancient Egyptians manage to align their pharaoh's burial chamber with such extraordinary precision to the stars? Some scholars speculate that the staircase may have served as a hidden observation shaft during construction, allowing astronomer priests to make fine adjustments. Others believe it was the final path taken during Khufu's burial, a route lined with sacred offerings, sealed forever after his body passed through. The stakes of discovery are enormous. Imagine finding at the staircase's end an untouched chamber, perhaps even one holding objects never looted, artifacts still in their original place after 4,500 years. The last untouched relics of Khufu's reign could lie there, preserved in the dry stillness of the pyramid's core. Even more tantalizing, it could contain inscriptions or star maps explaining the true purpose of the monument, a revelation that could rewrite our understanding of ancient Egypt's spiritual and architectural genius. But there's a reason such passages were hidden so well. The ancient Egyptians believed that to disturb the pharaoh's eternal journey was to invite disaster. Legends warn of curses on those who defy the sanctity of the tomb. While modern science dismisses these as superstition, history shows that secrecy was not just symbolic, it was a security measure. The fewer who knew, the safer the king's afterlife. Breaking into such a space would be a moment of historic triumph, but also one of immense responsibility. In the coming years, archaeologists will face a choice: attempt a minimally invasive probe into the void, risking the disturbance of a space sealed for eternity, or leave the mystery untouched, preserving its secrets for another generation. For now, the scans are all we have. A ghostly outline of a passage that may or may not be the legendary staircase. And so the Great Pyramid keeps its silence. Beneath the relentless Egyptian sun, it stands as it always has, its weathered stones concealing truths that even modern science can only glimpse. Somewhere in its ancient heart, perhaps just a few meters of stone away from where tourists now walk, a hidden staircase waits in perfect darkness. A staircase no living human has walked in over 4,000 years. Whether it leads to treasure, to knowledge, or to nothing at all, it remains the last locked door of Egypt's greatest monument. And until it is opened, its secrets belong not to us, but to eternity itself.
The Great Pyramid, mostly that's the one that's been studied. We actually haven't done a whole lot of studying on the other pyramids. It's something that's severely lacking. In fact, we've not even cleared off the bases of some of the other pyramids up at Giza. It's crazy.
So you can understand why people start to question the historical narrative.
The reality of them is probably stranger and more interesting than anything people can think up in terms of fiction.
For centuries, we've believed that the ancient Egyptians were the masterminds behind this architectural marvel. But what if they weren't? What if instead, they simply moved into these colossal structures? Join us as we explore groundbreaking theories, unravel new discoveries, and challenge everything we thought we knew about one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
I'm willing to accept that the Great Pyramid was largely completed by the ancient Egyptians.
The Great Pyramid of Giza, built during the 4th dynasty of Egypt for Pharaoh Khufu around 2580 to 2560 BC, has long captured the imagination of people worldwide. The discovery of its entrance and the subsequent exploration of its interior chambers have significantly deepened our understanding of ancient Egyptian architecture and burial practices. For centuries, the entrance to this monumental structure was a mystery. Originally, the pyramid was encased in smooth Tura limestone, which concealed any openings. By the time explorers began their quest, most of this casing had been stripped away, revealing the underlying structure.
The Great Pyramid was sealed. It was a sealed monument.
The first recorded discovery of the entrance dates back to 820 AD when the Caliph al-Mamun ordered an expedition to uncover the pyramid's secrets.
The Caliph al-Mamun, who was running Egypt at the time, wanted to get inside the Great Pyramid.
His workers supposedly found the hidden entrance after hearing a stone fall within the pyramid. They located the entrance about 17 meters above the ground on the northern face, slightly to the east of the central axis. This discovery led them to a descending passageway. From the entrance, the descending passageway measures about 1.2 meters high and 3.5 wide, sloping downwards at an angle of approximately 26 degrees.
Is there not a hidden chamber as well?
In fact, there is a whole underworld at Giza. This is beginning to be recognized.
This passage extends for about 105 meters into the pyramid, eventually reaching the subterranean chamber, also known as the pit. This chamber lies beneath the pyramid, carved into the bedrock, and is unfinished, roughly hewn, and not fully smoothed out like other parts of the pyramid. Measuring approximately 27 by 14 meters and about 8.6 meters high at its highest point, the chamber's purpose remains unclear.
We actually don't know what these chambers were for. No burial of any pharaoh was ever found inside the Great Pyramid.
Some theories suggest it was an early attempt at a burial chamber or simply an unfinished part of the construction. Halfway along the descending passageway, an ascending passageway branches off upwards. Similar in dimensions to the descending passageway, it extends for about 39 meters before reaching the Grand Gallery. The entrance to the ascending passageway was originally concealed by a stone block, adding an extra level of security. The Grand Gallery is one of the pyramid's most impressive features. It is a steeply inclined corridor, measuring about 46.6 meters in length, 8.6 meters in height, and 2.1 meters in width at the base, narrowing slightly towards the top. The walls of the Grand Gallery are lined with precisely cut stones, and the ceiling consists of corbelled stone blocks, creating a vaulted appearance. The floor has a series of slots, possibly for the placement of beams or to aid in the transportation of heavy objects. Approximately halfway along the Grand Gallery, a horizontal passageway leads to the so-called Queen's Chamber. This chamber is smaller than the King's Chamber, measuring about 5 3/4 meters by 5 1/4 meters, with a height of 6 1/4 meters. The walls are smooth and the ceiling is pointed, forming a gabled roof. The exact purpose of the Queen's Chamber is still debated. It might have been intended as a secondary burial chamber or a symbolic chamber for the pharaoh's spirit. Continuing up the Grand Gallery, a horizontal passage leads to the King's Chamber, the most important room in the pyramid. The King's Chamber is rectangular, measuring about 1.5 by 5.2 meters, and has a flat roof composed of massive granite beams. The chamber's walls are also lined with granite, and the floor consists of large granite blocks. Inside the King's Chamber is a large granite sarcophagus, believed to have held Khufu's body. The sarcophagus is too large to have been brought in through the existing passages, indicating it was placed during the construction of the pyramid. Above the King's Chamber are 5 relieving chambers, designed to distribute the weight of the pyramid and prevent the roof of the King's Chamber from collapsing. These chambers are separated by large horizontal slabs of granite, each layer relieving some of the weight above. In recent times, advanced technologies like ground-penetrating radar and Moon tomography have been employed to explore the pyramid further. These methods have led to the discovery of previously unknown voids and chambers, such as the Scan Pyramid's Big Void, a large empty space above the Grand Gallery discovered in 2017. The purpose of this void remains a mystery and continues to be a topic of ongoing research and speculation. The area surrounding the Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as Khufu's Pyramid, has been a treasure trove of archaeological discoveries.
I think there's a lot more remains to be discovered under the Giza Plateau.
Yeah.
These finds offer remarkable insights into ancient Egyptian civilization, their burial practices, religious beliefs, and daily life. One of the most intriguing discoveries is the solar boat pits. Unearthed in 1954 by Egyptian archaeologist Kamal El-Malak, these pits contain 2 intact boats buried near the Great Pyramid, positioned on the southern side. Known as solar barks, these boats were believed to serve a dual purpose. They were intended for Khufu's journey with the sun god Ra across the sky during the day and through the underworld at night. Another theory suggests they might have been used in the funerary procession of the pharaoh. The boats are made of Lebanese cedar wood, meticulously assembled without nails. The larger boat measures about 43.6 meters in length and features a sophisticated design with a cabin, oars, and rope bindings, using a technique known as mortise and tenon. The first boat was painstakingly reconstructed over 14 years by Egyptian conservator Ahmed Youssef Mustafa and is now displayed in the Khufu Boat Museum beside the Great Pyramid. The second boat remains in situ, awaiting advanced preservation techniques. In the early 1990s, Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass and his team made a groundbreaking discovery southeast of the Great Pyramid, the tombs of the workers who built the pyramids. The tombs provided evidence that the builders were paid laborers who worked in 3-month rotating shifts, reflecting the societal structure and economy of the Old Kingdom. The tombs contained skeletal remains showing signs of healed injuries, indicating that workers had access to medical care. Pottery shards, tools, and remnants of food supplies such as bread and beer were also found, shedding light on their diet and daily life. The presence of beef and fish bones suggests that the workers received good nutrition. The tombs were simple, yet carefully constructed from mud brick and limestone, indicating a level of respect for the workers. Some tombs had hieroglyphic inscriptions and modest grave goods, signifying the workers' social status and the reverence afforded to them. Another significant discovery was made in 1925 by American archaeologist George Reisner when he uncovered the mastaba of Queen Hetepheres I, the mother of Khufu, in the Giza necropolis. Located to the northeast of the Great Pyramid, the tomb was initially hidden under debris. The tomb contained a large cache of funerary equipment, including a golden throne, a gilded bed with a canopy, chairs, a palanquin, and various personal items such as jewelry and cosmetic boxes. The craftsmanship of these items highlights the luxurious lifestyle of the royal family and the high level of artisanship of the period. Interestingly, Hetepheres' body was never found, leading to theories that her mummy might have been relocated or never placed in the tomb. Some suggest the burial equipment might have been prepared in anticipation of her death, but used for another purpose. The remains of Khufu's pyramid temple have been uncovered through various excavations conducted over the years, with significant contributions from archaeologists such as Mark Lehner and Zahi Hawass. The pyramid temple was a site for offerings and rituals to honor the deceased pharaoh Khufu. It played a central role in the funerary cult, where daily rituals and ceremonies ensured the pharaoh's immortality. The temple's remains include large limestone blocks, column bases, and fragments of statues and altars. The temple layout typically featured a courtyard, a hypostyle hall, and sanctuaries. The temple was connected to the pyramid by a causeway, which was used for processional purposes. Various small artifacts, including inscribed blocks, offering tables, and fragments of statues, have been found. These artifacts shed light on the religious practices of the time, the artistic styles, and the materials used. Notably, fragments of a life-size statue of Khufu have been uncovered, providing insights into the pharaoh's appearance and royal iconography. The tomb of Khentkaus III, discovered by archaeologists in the early 20th century, is also referred to as the Fourth Pyramid due to its unique design. Located to the southeast of the Great Pyramid within the Giza necropolis, the tomb features a unique design that combines elements of both a pyramid and a mastaba. It includes a stepped pyramid base with a superstructure that might have been intended as a pyramid but was left unfinished.
Deep in the suffocating darkness of the Great Pyramid, far beyond where tourists tread, a small team of archaeologists inches through a narrow stone shaft. Their breath catches, not just from the stale air, but from the moment. A flashlight flickers against the granite, revealing what no one expected to find here: faded hieroglyphs. Hidden for 4,500 years, these markings are more than ancient scribbles. They are a message that shakes the foundation of everything we thought we knew about the builders of this colossal monument.
For centuries, the Great Pyramid has been an enigma. No murals, no lavish inscriptions, just perfectly cut stone rising toward the heavens, silent and inscrutable. That silence sparked endless speculation. Was it a tomb, a symbolic structure, a lost technology? Theories swirled, some plausible, many not. But the lack of written clues inside the pyramid made it a riddle carved in limestone. Until now. In a cavity hidden above the king's chamber, one of several mysterious voids detected by modern scanning technology, archaeologists discovered markings painted in red ochre. Unlike the decorative hieroglyphs of tombs and temples, these were functional, rough, unadorned. Crew names, work teams, overseer titles, scribbled with care. The kind of graffiti left not by vandals, but by builders marking their work. And what those hieroglyphs say has flipped the historical narrative. For generations, Western accounts insisted the pyramids were built by slaves, driven by tyrants and whipmasters. It was a convenient myth, one that reinforced biblical tropes and colonial narratives. But the writings in this hidden chamber tell a different story. They reveal an organized labor force divided into named teams with job titles and pride in their craft. One gang called themselves the Friends of Khufu. Another inscription mentions an overseer of the side of the pyramid. These were not slaves. These were artisans, engineers, and laborers working under royal command but earning their place in history. Suddenly, the Great Pyramid isn't just an architectural marvel. It's a testament to coordination, logistics, and community on a scale the world had never seen. This discovery doesn't stand alone. In recent decades, evidence has been piling up to dismantle the old myths. Excavations at Giza have revealed worker cemeteries, graves of men who helped build the pyramids, buried with honor near the monuments they raised. Their skeletons show signs of hard labor, but also signs of medical care and decent nutrition. Slaves weren't buried beside kings. These people were valued. And then came a revelation from an unexpected place, the coast of the Red Sea. At a site called Wadi al-Jarf, researchers unearthed the oldest known papyrus scrolls. Among them, a logbook belonging to a man named Mera. He was a mid-level official, responsible for transporting limestone blocks from the Tura quarries to Giza. His diary, written in real time over the course of several months, describes how his crew ferried massive stone shipments up the Nile, coordinating with supply teams and reporting to royal supervisors. It's the ancient equivalent of a construction manager's notebook, and it describes in stunning detail the building of the Great Pyramid. The Mera papyri and the new hieroglyphs inside the pyramid reinforce each other. One comes from outside, the other from within. Together, they offer a coherent human story, not of aliens or slave armies, but of real people working together to create something immortal. But the most thrilling part? The pyramid is still talking. In 2017, an international team used muon tomography, particle physics applied to archaeology, to scan the Great Pyramid without touching a stone. What they found was astonishing. A massive void, nearly 30 meters long, located above the Grand Gallery. To this day, no one knows what's inside. It could be a structural feature, or it could be a hidden chamber untouched for millennia. The pyramid, after all these years, is still revealing new secrets. And just recently, in 2023, archaeologists announced the discovery of a sealed corridor behind the pyramid's north face. 9 meters long, pristine, and completely inaccessible until now. Using a small endoscopic camera snaked through the stone, they captured the first images of this space since the reign of Khufu himself. Empty, yes, but clearly intentional. Was it a relieving chamber, or a concealed passage to something more? The implications are staggering, because if hieroglyphs were found in one secret cavity, what might lie in others? Could more inscriptions be hidden in the big void? Could ancient tools, burial goods, or blueprints still wait behind undisturbed blocks? Every new discovery invites more questions. And while most archaeologists remain grounded, cautioning against wild speculation, there's no denying the electricity in the air. The Great Pyramid, the only surviving wonder of the ancient world, isn't done speaking. And it's finally speaking in its own voice. The red-painted hieroglyphs are not ornate. They're not designed to awe. They're simple, direct, and unmistakably human. In that simplicity lies their power. They tell us that the pyramid was built not by pharaohs alone, but by workers with names, jobs, and pride. They claim their place in the story, not as slaves, but as makers. And for the first time in history, we can read their words from inside the monument they left behind. It's hard not to feel a chill when you consider it. The very people who placed these stones, who hauled and chiseled and climbed day after day, left their mark. They knew that what they were building would endure. And somehow, they must have hoped that someday, someone would read what they left behind. That day has come. But the story doesn't end with a few decoded symbols on stone. Just miles from the Great Pyramid, buried beneath centuries of sand, researchers uncovered something far more disturbing. A 9,000-year-old book filled with accounts so ancient and so terrifying that even today's scientists are struggling to explain what it contains.
Imagine delving into the depths of the Great Pyramid of Khufu, an ancient wonder that's like a riddle wrapped in a mystery, all encased in massive stone blocks. Now, scientists and archaeologists, with their fancy gadgets like 3D laser scanning and cosmic ray imaging, are uncovering secrets that have been hidden for thousands of years. It's like they're peeling back layers of time, revealing a complex labyrinth of passageways and chambers, some of which haven't seen the light of day since they were sealed. Now get this, one of the most mind-blowing finds is this huge void sitting right above the Grand Gallery. They found it using muon radiography, a technique that's all about catching cosmic rays, and it's got everyone buzzing with theories. Could it be an architectural trick, a secret burial spot, or maybe even a stash for something sacred or super valuable? The way this space is positioned, it's got folks thinking it might have been a clever move to keep the king's chamber from collapsing. Talk about ancient engineering smarts. But the mystery doesn't stop there. Thanks to 3D scans, we're getting a glimpse of how incredibly detailed and precise the pyramid's innards are. It's so intricate that it blows our minds how the folks back then pulled it off. This has sparked all sorts of wild ideas. Maybe the builders had some kind of advanced tech or knowledge that got lost over time. Who knows? And here's another twist. Researchers have stumbled upon smaller, hidden chambers and sneaky passageways crisscrossing through the pyramid. Egyptologists are scratching their heads, wondering if these were secret rooms for the pharaoh's spirit, or maybe vaults for sacred texts or astrological stuff. These hidden nooks and crannies add even more layers to the puzzle of what the pyramid was really for and how it was built. All these discoveries are stirring up big debates about the pyramids and the civilization that crafted them. The architectural genius on display here is making us question everything we thought we knew about ancient Egypt. It's even got some people thinking about lost civilizations or, hold on to your hats, maybe even help from outer space. The pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of Khufu, have been the center of speculation about extensive subterranean worlds. One prevailing theory suggests that the ancient Egyptians constructed elaborate underground labyrinths as a means to protect the pharaoh's treasures and sacred artifacts from grave robbers. These hypothesized labyrinths are often described as intricate networks of tunnels and chambers, filled with booby traps and hidden doors, straight out of an adventure novel. Another fascinating theory is the speculation of hidden chambers that could contain scrolls or texts revealing ancient wisdom and practices. These hypothetical chambers, according to some, might hold records of medical procedures, astronomical knowledge, or even detailed accounts of daily life in ancient Egypt, offering an unprecedented window into the past. More sensational theories have ventured into the realm of the extraterrestrial, proposing that the pyramids might house artifacts or technology not of this world. Proponents of this theory often point to the pyramid's architectural complexity and alignment with celestial bodies as evidence of alien influence or intervention. Moving on to the Great Sphinx, which lies close to the pyramids, the enigma deepens. This colossal statue, with the body of a lion and the head of a human, is believed by some to guard significant secrets beneath its paws. The most popular of these theories is the alleged Hall of Records, a hidden chamber said to contain the knowledge of the lost civilization of Atlantis, as suggested by Edgar Cayce. Archaeological and geological studies around the Sphinx have added fuel to these theories. Seismic surveys have indicated the presence of cavities or chambers beneath the Sphinx, although their purpose or contents remain unknown. Some researchers have proposed that these could be natural formations, while others speculate about man-made rooms or galleries. The allure of the Sphinx's subterranean secrets is amplified by the lack of historical records explaining its origin or purpose. This void in our understanding of the Sphinx has allowed alternative theories, ranging from ancient libraries to hidden tombs, to flourish. The exploration of what lies beneath the pyramids is now aided by cutting-edge technology. Ground-penetrating radar, thermal imaging, and muon radiography are among the tools that have opened new windows into understanding these ancient structures. These technologies allow researchers to probe the pyramid's depths without disturbing their structural integrity, revealing secrets that have been hidden for millennia. You know, the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings near Luxor, Egypt, is something straight out of an Indiana Jones movie. It's incredible. This valley, right on the west bank of the Nile opposite Luxor, which was ancient Thebes back in the day, was like the Beverly Hills of burial sites for Egypt's pharaohs during the New Kingdom period, from the 16th to the 11th centuries BCE. They chose it for its secluded, almost hidden location. It's like they wanted to keep it a secret from tomb raiders. By the time they buried Tutankhamun there, around 1323 BCE, it was already pretty crowded with royal tombs. Enter Howard Carter, this British archaeologist, who had this gut feeling that the valley still had secrets to reveal, despite what other experts thought. He was like a detective on a mission, funded by Lord Carnarvon, an English earl with deep pockets and a taste for adventure. And then, boom. On November 4th, 1922, Carter's team hit the jackpot. They found steps leading to Tutankhamun's tomb, KV-62. This was a game-changer and the result of Carter's unyielding determination. The excavation was like a scene from a thriller. They first cleared a staircase and then found this sealed entrance with the Royal Necropolis seal. It was like a sign saying, yes, there's something amazing here. Carter was super meticulous, recording every single detail and snapping pictures like there was no tomorrow. When they got through the entrance, they found themselves in this antechamber that was like a treasure-filled room of wonders with chariots, beds, chairs, and all sorts of ritual objects. It was all a bit chaotic, which made them think that some ancient robbers had a go at it not once, but twice. But wait, there's more. Next to this antechamber was this smaller room called the Annex, stuffed to the brim with all sorts of goods. Then the main event, the burial chamber. This was where the sarcophagus and Tutankhamun's mummy were. Talk about an awe-inspiring sight. And as if that wasn't enough, there was another room, the treasury, filled with precious objects meant for the afterlife. The array of artifacts they found there gave us this incredible glimpse into what life was like during the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. The tomb was smaller and less showy than others in the valley, but what made it stand out was how untouched it was, aside from the earlier robberies. This discovery was a gold mine for Egyptologists. It was like they hit the jackpot in understanding the burial customs, art, and day-to-day items from that era. The whole thing, I tell you, it was just out of this world. Now the real showstoppers in there were Tutankhamun's solid gold coffin and that iconic gold funerary mask. You know the one, right? It's practically the face of ancient Egypt, decked out with lapis lazuli, quartz, and other colorful stones. Pure artistry. And let's not forget about the 6 chariots and those fancy thrones. They were like the Bentleys and thrones of their time, showing off the incredible craftsmanship and tech skills of the ancient Egyptians. But wait, there's more. The bling in that tomb would make any jewelry enthusiast green with envy. We're talking necklaces, bracelets, rings, amulets, all made from gold and precious stones. And then there were toys and games like the Senate board game, which give us a glimpse into the fun side of royal life back then. What's really mind-blowing is how intact everything was. Sure, some ancient tomb raiders tried to crash the party, but they didn't get far, and most of the treasure was left just as it was. The dry Egyptian climate and the sealed tomb did a fantastic job preserving everything, including organic stuff like wood, textiles, and leather. Now, the big guy himself, Tutankhamun, was resting in 3 coffins nested like Russian dolls. The innermost one, solid gold. Talk about resting in style. His mummy was in pretty good shape too, which was great for the scientists. They went full CSI with CT scans and DNA testing on him. These scans showed us what he looked like and gave us the lowdown on his health. Plus, the DNA tests confirmed his royal lineage and even gave us hints about what might have caused his untimely death. Everything from genetic diseases to malaria has been on the table. So when you look at everything in that tomb, it's like a window straight into the world of ancient Egypt. It's a treasure trove of information about how they lived, what they valued, and even how they viewed the afterlife. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb isn't just a chapter in a history book, it's a cornerstone in our understanding of one of the most fascinating civilizations in history.
We actually don't know what these chambers were for. No burial of any pharaoh was ever found inside the Great Pyramid.
Is there not a hidden chamber as well?
In fact, there is a whole underworld at Giza. This is beginning to be recognized. I think there's a lot more remains to be discovered under the Giza Plateau.
Yeah. The mysterious and captivating Osiris shaft, nestled in the heart of the Giza Plateau, is a marvel that dates back to the New Kingdom period of ancient Egypt, a time spanning from about 1550 to 1070 BC. This era, renowned for its unprecedented architectural, artistic, and religious advancements, represents the zenith of Egyptian civilization's power and cultural prowess.
We actually haven't done a whole lot of studying on the other pyramids. It's something that's severely lacking.
It's within this rich historical tapestry that the construction of the Osiris shaft is situated, suggesting its considerable significance in the religious or funerary practices of the time, reflective of the profound spiritual and theological currents that characterized the period.
That is who Osiris is. His image is seen in the sky as the constellation of Orion.
The New Kingdom is often heralded as the peak of ancient Egypt's glory, marked by immense prosperity and cultural flowering. The decision to construct the Osiris shaft during such a time indicates its potential importance, perhaps serving as a monumental or ceremonial site linked to the elite or royalty. This was also a period when the cult of Osiris, the deity of the afterlife and resurrection, gained substantial traction, reflecting the era's deep religious fervor. The very naming and intended use of the Osiris shaft likely underscore a direct engagement with rituals or beliefs centered around Osiris, underscoring the structure's religious significance. Interestingly, the Osiris shaft didn't merely belong to the New Kingdom, but appeared to have found relevance and was repurposed during the Sate period, around the 26th dynasty, from 664 to 525 BC.
We're looking at the remnants of a lost civilization. They might have left cultural knowledge, they might have left architecture and objects.
This era, known for its retrospective look at Egypt's illustrious past in an attempt to revive the splendor of earlier times, saw the shaft being reused or adapted for new purposes. This inclination towards embracing ancient traditions may have inspired the shaft's restoration or modification, aiming to reconnect with the spiritual and cultural achievements of the New Kingdom era. Artifacts and inscriptions unearthed within the shaft, dating from various periods, provide a glimpse into its sustained or evolving significance over centuries. The exploration journey of the Osiris shaft, particularly spearheaded by Giovanni Battista Belzoni in 1817, marks a pivotal chapter in the annals of Egyptology. Belzoni's venture into the shaft not only unveiled its architectural complexity and the depths it reached, but also bridged a connection to the ancient world for the West. His efforts at the Giza Plateau, especially his work with the Osiris shaft, laid the foundational stones for the field of Egyptology, opening up new avenues for understanding ancient Egyptian engineering. The shaft's proximity to the iconic pyramids, especially its location south of Khafre's Causeway, enriches its historical and cultural context. Khafre's pyramid, a testament to Egyptian architectural finesse and religious zeal, casts a long shadow over the Osiris shaft, creating a stark contrast between the visible grandeur of the pyramids and the hidden depths of the shaft. This juxtaposition not only highlights the Egyptians' mastery over both the celestial and the underworld realms, but also suggests the shaft's strategic placement. Ancient Egyptians revered celestial alignments, and the positioning of the Osiris shaft could well have been meticulously chosen to fit into a larger cosmological framework. Diving into the heart of the Giza Plateau, the Osiris shaft is not just a marvel of ancient Egyptian engineering, but a deep dive into the spiritual and symbolic realms that defined this ancient civilization. With its 3 distinct levels carved into the limestone, leading down around 100 feet, this architectural masterpiece reveals the Egyptians' prowess in engineering and their nuanced approach to the afterlife's mysteries. Each level, connected by vertical shafts, plays its unique role in this journey to the beyond, showcasing a civilization that was as much about the spiritual as it was about the tangible. The first level of the Osiris shaft acts as the initial threshold, a gateway that ushers one from the land of the living into the depths of the afterlife. Its modest design, quite unlike the grandeur seen in other Egyptian tombs and monuments, possibly served a dual purpose. Not only might it have been intended to ward off the uninitiated, preserving the sanctity of the rites within, but it also set the tone for the soul's journey ahead. This chamber, likely a stage for preliminary rituals, echoes with the remnants of purification rites, offerings to deities, and the recitation of spells from the Book of the Dead. Each ritual meticulously designed to guide and protect the soul on its passage through the underworld. The engineering feat of constructing this chamber directly into the bedrock cannot be overstated. The ancient Egyptians showcased their unparalleled skill and understanding of their environment, executing such precision and stability deep within the earth. The smooth walls and exact dimensions of the chamber are a testament to their craftsmanship, ensuring the site's longevity and safeguarding it against collapses and water ingress. Proceeding deeper into the Osiris shaft brings us to the second level, a realm that holds a pivotal position in both the architectural grandeur and the spiritual odyssey encapsulated within this ancient edifice. This layer beneath the Earth's surface serves as a vital transition phase in the soul's journey, marking a profound shift from the mortal world to the enigmatic depths of the afterlife. Architecturally, this level distinguishes itself from the more modest first level through its elaborate design. Niches meticulously carved into the walls hint at their role as sanctuaries for statues, offering vessels or other objects of ritual significance, each contributing to the intricate ritual practices emblematic of this phase in the afterlife journey. The spatial complexity of this level, with its alcoves and expanded areas, suggests a setup intended for more elaborate ceremonies or a larger congregation of participants, possibly including priests or the deceased's kin, underscoring a communal dimension to these rites. Indeed, the architectural layout of this level, designed to accommodate multiple individuals, speaks volumes about the ancient Egyptians' conception of the afterlife. It suggests a belief in a collective journey of souls, or underscores the importance of maintaining social and familial bonds beyond death. This collective aspect of the second level of the Osiris shaft reinforces the idea that the journey through the afterlife was envisioned not as a solitary voyage, but as a shared experience, woven into the fabric of the community and the cosmos. Descending into the depths of the Osiris shaft, we reach its third and deepest level, a place that is physically profound. Here we find ourselves in the closest proximity to the mythical underworld of the ancient Egyptians, a realm that symbolizes the ultimate destination in the afterlife journey, rebirth or resurrection. This level, akin to the Duat, the ancient Egyptian netherworld where souls are judged and, if deemed worthy, reborn, holds a central place in the narrative of death and rebirth that permeates Egyptian mythology. Central to this chamber's significance is its alignment with the mythology of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, the dead, and rebirth. The story of Osiris's death and resurrection is not just a myth, it's the bedrock of the Egyptian understanding of the afterlife, representing the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. This chamber, situated at the heart of the Osiris shaft, is a direct nod to this myth, embodying the deepest hopes and beliefs of the ancient Egyptians regarding the afterlife. The presence of water in this chamber adds another layer of symbolic depth. Far from being a mere physical feature, the water represents the primeval waters of Nun, chaotic yet essential for creation and rebirth in Egyptian cosmology. This connection to the waters of Nun, mirroring the life-giving floods of the Nile, highlights water's role as a source of life and a means for regeneration. It's in this water-filled chamber that the deceased undergoes a final purification, a crucial step preparing their soul for rebirth into the afterlife. This practice aligns with the ritual use of water for cleansing and purification. The architecture of this deepest chamber is meticulously crafted, reflecting its sacred purpose. More complex and solemn than the levels above, it is designed to house the most sacred elements associated with the afterlife rituals. The possibility that this chamber could have contained a cenotaph, serving as a symbolic tomb for Osiris, or even been an actual burial place for high-ranking individuals or priests, adds to its importance. The inclusion of a sarcophagus within this chamber, surrounded by the symbolic waters of Nun, emphasizes the significance of this space not just as a site of burial, but as a profound statement on the Egyptian concept of the afterlife. This journey through the Osiris shaft, from its entrance to the deepest level, offers a vivid glimpse into the ancient Egyptian worldview. It reveals a civilization deeply engaged with the mysteries of life and death, expressing these themes through the complex architecture and symbolic depth of structures like the Osiris shaft. Here, at the heart of the ancient world, we find a profound expression of hope for rebirth and a life beyond death, encapsulated within the sacred spaces of the Osiris shaft.